What's up, guys? Ring of Valiance owner Deshaun Walton here. I'm pretty sure everybody knows who I am at this juncture. But for those who don't know me, that's my name, this is what I am, so welcome. Last couple of weeks in CAW, especially over the last 36 to 40 hours, have been crazy as hell. Eye-opening, interesting, intriguing, a bit of a quote-unquote revelation, if you will. A couple of weeks ago, somebody who's going to remain nameless until ROVX got exposed for something that was said a while back, but I'm not going to speak on that subject because it's kind of like beating a dead horse, and we all are adults in CAW, essentially, most of us at least, and we just want to move on from that and try to live as much of a prosperous life as possible. Speaking of living a prosperous life, somebody in CAW, who again is going to remain nameless for good though, that person was exposed over the last 36 to 40 hours as, I don't even know what the hell to say to describe this person, but let's just say they were exposed for something that in my view is quite possibly the most controversial thing in CAW to date. And I'm not going to speak on that just because it's not my place to say anything on it. One of the people involved went through some stuff, and thankfully that person is still with us today, and hopefully he's living as prosperous of a life as possible, because that person is also part of the reason why I'm in CAW in the first place. Nevertheless, on to matters involving ROVX. The show is still coming. I mean, I set an unofficial date for myself to try to get the show out as quickly as possible. That date is September 30th. I don't know if it's going to come out on September 30th just because I want to get this out of the way now. The last 3 matches of the show, Casey Castigador, Stone, Jerkin, Walton, Snow, all those matches have been sound edited and are ready for commentary. The first 2 hours of the show have all the sound effects edited in, etc., and only 2 voices thus far have been recorded for the show on my end. I have to get to work on that as soon as possible to get the rest of the voices that I need to get done and over with. I have to sound edit the rest of the show and finally commentate over it. This will likely be the longest commentary session I've ever done. The reason being is because the show is 9.5 hours. Longer than Buckle Up, yes, but after a conversation I had with Yuri Huntron about a week or 2 ago, it's best that I make it a 2-night or 2-part event. Simply because I know nobody's gonna sit there and watch 9.5 hours of CAW work, basically. And it's that long because, again, just like with Buckle Up, I brainstorm far too much for my own good, but luckily I'm surrounded by people in CAW who know what they're doing in regards to show length, and I've learned quite a lot so far, and I still have a lot to learn in that regard, so things are definitely going to be looking up. Regarding the 2 voices I need for CAWs that aren't mine, this all ties into what happened a couple of weeks ago in a sense, because one of the guys is taking a break, trying to collect his thoughts, get his head together, which is understandable. I can respect it. Another one of the guys whose voice I need for basically the same scene in a sense, he's either taking a break from ROV or just doing his own thing or dealing with his own personal stuff, which is fine. I'm gonna have to hit those 2 up within the next few days to see if they still want to provide their voices for the show, because I don't want to do it myself, because I already had to voice over somebody else's call that wasn't mine because I asked for their voice months ago and they said they'd get back to me on it and never did, so I just ended up having to do it myself. I don't want to cut anything out of the show more than I already have. And I don't want to do text-based promos unless it's like in a cinematic format, like the short 8-minute, 9-minute videos that I've been doing lately. I don't want to do that, and I don't want to really ask anybody else to do it because these two guys that I have doing the voices for their characters, they're the only two that I know that can get those characters down to a T because they're the best guys for the job, and I couldn't ask anybody else to do it even if I wanted to. With that in mind, things are going to be looking up and things are going to be definitely changing in ROV. As I said a couple of months ago, a couple of people within ROV are definitely going to be leaving as of X and as of episode 11, especially after what's happened recently, and especially after what's happened over the last year or so, primarily involving two people who will be addressed in the beginning of ROVX. They've displayed numerous amounts of unprofessionalism, numerous amounts of controversy, numerous amounts of this, that, and the third. I'm stumbling over my words because it's kind of annoying me, but it is what it is. But yeah, after much consideration and after consulting with a few people who I know what they're doing now to a degree, I see it best to just let those people go from ROV because number one, people have been asking me to join. Number two, like, I have to make room for new stuff, new roster signees, which will be coming sooner rather than later. Two of which, by the way, I'm sure they know who they are by now, but two of which who will remain a secret that have not been seen since Buckle Up, so keep a lookout for that. And those two people are going to be in the tag team title ladder match to crown the inaugural ROV tag champions. With that in mind, hopefully I can get X out as soon as possible because I really don't want to look at this show any more than I already have, especially with filming and editing and all of that, and hopefully things can move forward and call in a positive light, especially with all that's going on in the world with COVID-19, elections coming up. Please vote Trump out of office. I'm begging you people. I think the only thing that I can say at this point, stay tuned because there's a lot of things that's going to be happening in ROV, NXW, SWW, maybe even a little bit in Forever a Movement. I don't know. As some people know by now, I'm one of the recorders for the show. Surprise, surprise. I'm just helping them out where I can. It's been a challenge for both SWW and FAM. It's been quite the challenge, but it's a challenge that I'm not scared of taking. With that said, hopefully everybody can wait just a little bit longer for ROVX. If it doesn't come out on September 30th, the latest that I can get it out is between October 15th and October 30th. So we will see, because I really want to get this show over and done with, and I want to move on to other things involving ROV, SWW, NXW to try and intertwine everything somehow. So hopefully the show can get out as soon as humanly possible. Also, before I forget, ROV episode 11 is fully done film-wise. Sound editing, I have to get to work on that, of course. Let me see. The premiere episode or pilot episode, whatever you want to call it, of Ring of Valiance presents She-Wolf's Underground is also done completely film-wise. Sound editing on that is half done, and that show is going to be a little bit less than an hour. And I know people who know me for making long-ass shows are probably jumping for joy right now. But regardless, it's not entirely great because, truth be told, I just made the show for the women on ROV, or the female characters in ROV, strictly out of boredom and ideas, whatever, just to try to keep the focus on the male storylines on the main ROV show, or the major female storylines on the main ROV show. With that said, I have a lot of things to do, including a voiceover for Zaya Corvin that I've been putting off for the last couple of weeks. I promise you I'm gonna get that done. I just have loose ends to tie up first. That in mind, hopefully everybody's having a good day, good night, whatever time you're seeing this. And yeah, X is coming soon. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for SWW stuff, because things are gonna get really interesting moving forward. As you already saw on episode 6, I believe, came out yesterday. So you're gonna like what you see in both ROV and SWW, and in NXW too, which is ran by a good buddy of mine from the UK, Tom Doyle. Y'all gotta check out Nonstop Extreme Wrestling. It's very good stuff. So hopefully everybody's having a good day, good night, whatever time you're watching this. I gotta get back to editing everything and film a little bit more for FAM. Despite how tired, exhausted, and wiped I am, I'm trying to push myself to record as much as I can. So, yeah. And I more than likely can guarantee you that call is going to be the death of me. But yeah, I love you guys. Hopefully you all are staying safe during this COVID shit. And yeah, stay safe. Be kind to one another, especially after what's happened over the last few months. And yeah, that's it. Love you guys. Peace out. And goodbye, good night, bang, I guess. Yeah. Peace out, guys.